So it looks like the Calgary real estate market doesn't want to slow down anytime soon. This month, yet again, we have seen price increases across the market, across all house types. And this is different from what we predicted last month because we did see a change. We saw an inflection in the trajectory and prices had come down in the more expensive part of the market last month. However, that has changed back again and we are higher than we were in August. So we're continuing the trend that we had for the couple of months prior to last month, where we were constantly seeing price increases, and that has continued this month. We're going to take a look at which parts of the market have seen an increase and what product type based on what you're looking for. Hi guys, this is Iyer, your Calgary Realtor, and if you're planning to move to Calgary in the next 6 months, buy, sell, or invest, make sure you reach out so that we can set you up with a game plan, because it's very different depending on what you're looking for and what your needs are. We will go over this market report in summary, but there are a lot more details behind the scenes, and depending on what you are looking for, the answer might be very, very different. So make sure you reach out, book a call with me. My links are in the description. And without further ado, let's get into the summary by the Calgary Real Estate Board. So if you take a look at this summary right here, we can see the October sales activity has slowed over the last month in alignment with the typical seasonal pattern. So around this time, we do expect a slowdown in sales. However, the sales are still extremely strong as compared to where it usually is. And so given that, based on the inventory levels, we are still seeing extremely high demand, and it's an extremely strong seller's market. Levels was 17% higher than last year, amongst the highest levels reported for October. Sales activity boosted mainly through apartment condominium sales. So that's the affordable part of the market right now, and that's what's propping everything up. New listings also improved this month compared to last year, reaching 2,684, reflecting the highest October levels seen since 2015. So even though the new listings are still high, but because of the high amount of sales, our inventory has not been able to keep up. So we are 40% lower than levels traditionally available in October. 40%, that is extremely low inventory. So that still paints you an overall picture of where the market's at, and things have been this way for a good couple months now. So it looks like heading into winter, we are still in the same issue that we had for a good couple months now, which is extremely low inventory and extremely high sales and demand. It is still extremely affordable to move to Calgary, and a lot of people are still taking advantage of that opportunity. And there are some good deals to be had in winter, and I think a lot of people will take advantage of that. So when we compare our sales month over month, we can see we were at 2,441 last month. So that has slightly dropped to 2,171, but still record high for the month. As far as the price increase across different house types go, you can see your total residential benchmark price has increased from 570,300 last month to 571,600. So last month we actually saw a drop in benchmark price, but now we have seen an increase again. And this is reflective across all product types. So for detached, we went from 696,100 to 697,600. For our semi-detached, we've gone from 621,300 to 628,700. That's a huge increase in semi-detached. We had an extremely low inventory when it came to semi-detached across the city, and especially in Southeast. So if you're looking for a semi-detached in Southeast, you are going to have a hard time. And that is directly reflective in the price increase that we have seen this month. And as far as row prices go, we went from 419,400 to 425,200, nominal increase. And then even for the apartments, we're still continuing to increase, 312 to 316. So that's another 4,000. So overall, you can see that the row and apartment prices are increasing more than you are seeing on the detached and semi-detached. And that's because those are the more affordable parts of the market. Those are the parts year over year have seen the largest amount of gains. At row, you're sitting at around 20%. At apartments, you're almost at 16%. So those are the highest demand type houses right now in the market, and that's where everyone's targeting. And apartment sales for the last couple months, together with the new listings and inventory, has been absolutely killing it. And those houses don't stay on the market for too long. When it comes to inventory, we have 3,190, so that's an 18% decrease year over year. And as far as months of supply go, we were at 1.38 last month. Now we are at 1.47. So we have seen a nominal increase in the amount of houses, the months of supply for houses available, but it's still nowhere close enough to put us into a balanced market. Now let's take a look at the detailed stats for each house type. Year over year, you can see the inventory levels. This paints an overall picture of where we were last year at the same time and where we are right now and what that causes in the market. So when it comes to inventory year over year, as you can see, we are at minus 19% for detached. Our semi-detached is minus 15%, row minus 20, and apartment minus 17. So that puts a lot of pressure on the market. And the sales to new listing ratios are pretty high. And usually anything above 85% is really worth noting because those are high pressure parts of the market. And as you can see, the row and apartment, which are the affordable parts of the market, clearly above 85%, 89 and 88 respectively. And so that causes extremely high pressure, leading us to only less than a month of supply when it comes to row townhouses. And for the apartments, we are sitting at 1.48, both extremely tight compared to semi-detached and detached property types. And so that keeps pressure on the market. Now taking a look at the summary by the Calgary Real Estate Board per product type, feel free to pause, look at this. This PDF will also be available for download in the description, so feel free to get it and read through it in more detail. I will go over the highlighted parts. Inventory levels for detached remain the lowest ever recorded for October. Conditions are not as tight as last year is for homes priced above $1 million, where the months of supply has risen to 4.3 months. So clearly it's not an overall problem. Like if you look at houses over 700,000, they are staying on the market for a while. It's the houses that are under 700,000 that are in extremely high demand. And if you are specifically targeting affordability, given the interest rate hikes, it's obvious everybody's affordability has come down. And so clearly they need houses below 700,000. So houses above $1 million, not a problem. Year to date, benchmark prices have increased the most in Northeast and East districts. And this is a trend we will see across all product types. For semi-detached, inventory levels are nearly half the levels traditionally seen in October and have not been this low since October 2005. So inventory for semi-detached, I cannot emphasize this, is extremely, extremely low. So a lot of people are stuck between trying to either pick between a detached or a row townhouse. And obviously the detached has now reached plus 700,000. So everyone's going for the row townhouse, and that's put extreme pressure on the row townhouses because the inventory of semi-detached is extremely low. The highest price growth has happened in the most affordable districts of Northeast and East. Again, common trend, as we saw in the detached, same thing in the semi-detached. When it comes to the row townhouses, row inventory levels have not been this low since October 2005, same as the semi-detached. The largest monthly gain occurred in city center. When it comes to the apartments, decline in inventory levels has been driven mostly by condos priced below 300,000. Again, even within the apartments, even though overall apartments are very affordable, it's the specific range between your 100 to 300,000 that is seeing extremely high demand because people are trying to get into affordable housing, which now represents 38% of all inventory, a significant decline compared to the 53% reported last year. So last year we had 53% of the inventory was between this range. Now it's only 38%. That's how quickly it's being absorbed. Largest gains are rising in the lower priced Northeast and East districts. Again, common trend as we see in the other product types. Now moving on to check out the price ranges across the city. Calgary has one of the most diverse price ranges depending on where you decide to live. As we can see in the north, we went from 545, 400 to 548. Northwest, we went from 611 to 613. Northeast, 482 to 483. And clearly you can see on the east side is the cheapest in the entire city. So from 393, we just went to 395. West being one of the most expensive, we went from 685 to 686. City center has gone from 597 to 601. So We did see a drop last month in prices when it came to West, but now it looks like they are back on the upward trajectory. So after dropping, now it's just sort of trending sideways, just an increase, normal increase of 1,000, not a whole lot. And when it comes to the south, we've gone from 553 to 555, 400. One part of the market, and this is very interesting, I did not see this coming, and we're not entirely sure why. We'd have to get more into the details to understand what's causing this, but southeast is the only part of the market for this month that actually saw a drop. So we went from 562, 500 to 559, and this is across all product types, as we'll see very soon. So it seems like there might be some deals to be had in the southeast. So if you're considering southeast, I specialize in southeast, make sure you reach out. My links are in the description. Book a call. Let's get the high hellos out of the way and try to understand your situation so we can find a house that suits your needs. Now, moving on. Here you can see your total sales across the years. Clearly, you can see the 2023 levels are extremely close to where 2021 was. But the type of houses that are selling are very different. So in 2021, it was mainly the detached part of the market that dominated the market, whereas detached is now much lesser here. But in 2023, we are actually much higher when it comes to the apartment sales compared to 2021. City of Calgary total new listings, as we can see, we are nowhere close to where we were in 2021 or 22. It's causing the low inventory that we have currently, but we are still normally okay. The closest that we come close to is 2018. Now, this is one of my favorite charts, very interesting. As you can see, in the last month, we had a little downward trend. We went down for that 1 month, and we expected to level out a little bit, maybe trend sideways, but it looks like because of the high amount of demand and the inventory still not being able to keep up, we have actually trended back up, and we are actually higher than August levels. So Calgary real estate market is back on an upward trend. Will this continue through winter? We will have to just wait and see. There is definitely deals to be had depending on the property type and the market that you're looking in. But of course, the more you go towards the affordability side, the cheaper you're trying to buy, that's how more competitive it will get. And here, when it comes to the benchmark price by house type, by location, you can see across the board, everywhere we are seeing positive gains, pretty high gains in certain parts. So for example, on the east for apartments, we are seeing a 2.25% increase. For city center semi-detached, it's 2.18, 2.68 on the row townhouse for city center. So those are some extremely high gains. But here's the interesting part. There are 4 parts of the market where we have seen a price decrease on benchmark price. And all 4 of those are in Southeast for all 4 house types. So here, we've seen a decrease of 0.34% in Southeast for detached. We've seen a decrease of 0.42% for apartments in Southeast. Again, 0.42% for semi-detached in Southeast. And when it comes to the row townhouses, we are looking at a nominal 0.02%, which is almost negligible. But it's interesting that all of Southeast is what's seeing the downward trend. I don't think this will continue. There's no real reason apart from probably the low amount of sales happening and just an overall preference shift. I do think we will bounce back next month or match the market. When it comes to months of supply, this is how you're going to know where you're going to face the most competition. So when it comes to detached, you have the most amount of competition in East. Again, the lower this number, the more competition you're going to have. So East has the most competition for detached. When it comes to your apartments, there's just competition everywhere. South, West, North, Northeast, East, it's all competitive, extremely low months of supply. When it comes to semi-detached, Northwest, North, and Northeast is where you're looking at competitive markets. And for the row, you're looking at South, North, and East, where we have extremely low months of supply. Taking a look at the total inventory by price range, we have seen a drop in the extreme affordability range. So when it comes to 200,000 to 300,000, there has been a drop from 400, and even for 400,000 to 500,000, that's your first time home buyer range where most people qualify. And of course, that's also where inventories drop. So now those two parts of the market, literally the most affordable part and the most appealing part for first time home buyers, both of those have seen a drop of inventory. And so those are going to see more competition going forward. When it comes to the price range, total sales, as we can see, 400 to 500,000, the most appealing part, like I said, for first time home buyers, they are seeing the most amount of sales and demand across all price ranges. Finally, just to close it off, in terms of the amount of sales month over month, you can see we clearly do not have as much increase in sales. In fact, we have a drop of sales on this higher price range above 750,000, and overall sales have also dropped in this lower range. The only part which has increased, which is 450 to 499, no surprise, because again, that is your first time home buyer affordability range. And so we are going to keep seeing price increases. We are going to keep seeing increase in sales for that range, because that's where most of my buyers also are targeting their home purchase. So hopefully you found this market report useful. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Find my details out in the description. Reach out, book a call. Let's talk. Let's get those high lows out of the way, set you up with a plan, see where you're at. It's an extremely competitive market. There are different strategies to use, and especially as we go into winter, there's different ways to look at the market, different types of searches to set up, and a lot of off-market deals that also end up happening. So make sure you have a realtor on your side to help you through the process. Hopefully you like this content. I will be putting out videos specifically for each property type, so apartments, townhouses, semi-detached, and detached. So depending on what you're looking for, you'll find those videos more useful. And until next time, peace.